Hello once again, and welcome to Delville Lady Bronco Basketball and Delville Athletics. We are coming to you from Delville High School, where the Lady Broncos are hosting Cowan in a Mid-Eastern Conference contest this evening, the first of a girl-boy doubleheader here at Delville High School. Of course, with the girl-boy doubleheader, there are no JV contests, so we'll look at the matchups. First for Cowan. They are coached by Jeff Tharp. He's 32-44 in his fourth year at Cowan High School. The Lady Blackhawks are 3-10 overall, 1-4 in the Mid-Eastern Conference, which is good for seventh place. The Lady Blackhawks opened the season with 6 straight losses before winning a pair of games versus Elwood and Union in late November. Since then, they've dropped 4 out of 5, with their last victory coming over Anderson Prep 37-36 on December the 10th. Delville, of course, is coached by Ashley Fouch. She's 33-51 in her fourth year as coach of the Delville girls. They are currently 2-12. They're 0-6 in the Mid-Eastern Conference, which is good for 10th place. The Lady Broncos picked up their first win since the opener by topping Elwood 39-31 on December the 28th. Most recently, Delville fell to Southern Wells on the road this past Tuesday night. And versus common opponents, Cowan holds a 2-5 record compared to Delville's record of 1-6. The one team Cowan did beat that Delville did not was Anderson Prep. Over the past 20 years, Cowan holds a 20-11 lead in the series. They had also won the most recent meeting with Delville by the score of 50-36 in the sectional this past February. We'll take a couple-minute break and come back with your starting lineups. This is Lady Bronco Basketball and Delville Athletics. We are just about ready for the starting lineups, and we will turn it over shortly to Mr. Gick, the public address announcer.
Tonight's varsity double between Cowan and First, the black ball for Young Charter. Number 20, Justin Warren. Number 2, Elizabeth Madison. Number 3, Elizabeth Stevens. Number 11, Wayne Hill. Number 25, Manny Moore. Number 2, Patty Wilson. And number 3, Bradley Hunt. Now for the starters. Number 4, Wilson Hall. Number 14, Brianna Hall. Number 15, Diane Porter. Number 22, Josie Burr. Number 20, Daniel Lindsay. The ball was coached by Jeff Gordon and assisted by Mike Thomas. And now to the Lady Broncos. First, Cowan Broncos. Number 2, Brianna.
So again, looking at those lineups, starting for Cowan, they're going with number 4, Brooklyn Hall. She's a junior. Number 14, Brianna Hall. She is a senior. Number 15, Cheyenne Carter, a junior. Number 22, Josie Bird, a senior. And number 23, Davelyn Lindsay. And it will be Lindsay stepping in to jump it up against Amara McFall for Daleville. Also starting for Daleville is Maddie Etchison, Trishelle Johnson, Addison Gothrop, and Emma Ross. As up tap is controlled by Gothrop of Daleville. She's got it high right side. Gothrop penetrates. Still between the circles on the dribble, goes high post with it to Johnson. Johnson drives the lane, puts up a scoop shot off the back iron. No good. Rebound is cleared off by Lindsay of Cowan. She gets it up quickly, goes down inside with it to Bird. Her shot in the lane's no good. Rebound is cleared off by Trishelle Johnson. Johnson into the front court to Gothrop, left wing. Thinks about a three, gives it off to Daleville's Etchison, who lets fire for three, but it's short, out of bounds, gives the ball back over to the Lady Blackhawks. Lindsay will bring the ball in the front court for Cowan. She goes high left side with it to Hall. Hall now between the circles. Comes near side with it to Brianna Hall. Back to Brooklyn Hall. They go high left side with it to Lindsay. Now right wing it goes and down on the baseline. They go into Carter. Now they go left wing with it. That's Lindsay. Skips it near side with it to Hall. Now between the circles. It's knocked away, stolen away. Loose spot for in the lane. And they get a jump ball call where Voss and Bird were fighting for it. It'll be Blackhawk basketball underneath their own basket. Ball comes in now. That is Hall with it now between the circles. It goes to Lindsay. Lindsay now moves it high right side. She's being guarded by Gotham. Now it is Brooklyn Hall with it between the circles. Broncos in a 2-3 zone. Goes high left side with it to Brianna Hall. Now down on the baseline to Bird. Bird comes near side with it to Lindsay. Lindsay drives right baseline. Who she's cut off, and she pulls up short. Jump shot's too strong. Rebound's pulled off by McFall of Daleville and gets it up quickly to Addison Gotham. Gotham drives left side, steps back with it, goes top of the key now to Trishelle Johnson. Johnson back to Gotham. Let's fly with a long three left side, short. Rebound is cleared off by Hall of Cowan. Gets it up quickly to Lindsay. Lindsay now comes near side with it to Carter. Kicks it back out on top to Lindsay. Her three-pointers off the back iron, no good. Loose, fought for, tapped out of bounds. They say last touch by Daleville. No score here. 6:10 to go, first quarter of play. Lady Blackhawk basketball. We get the ball inbounds to Lindsay, high left side. Broncos still in that 2-3 zone. Now it goes to Bird on the left wing. Near side it comes to Hall. Her wing jump shot's no good, out of bounds. Last touch by Cowan. And substitutions for Devil. McFall will sit down, and in the lineup will be McKenna Corbin. Johnson gets to Corbin in the backcourt. McKenna walks up slowly across the timeline, goes high right side to Gotham, and stolen away. Turnover Devil, and that is Hall with it. Hall has it knocked away, but it's picked up by Cowan. Now with it is Lindsay. She comes near side with it to Carter. Carter goes down left baseline to Hall. That's Brooklyn Hall. She loses it. Ball's picked up by Cowan's Lindsay. Lindsay puts up a runner in the lane, off the back iron, no. Loose and fought for. Carter with the rebound. Skips it out near side to Hall. Hall being guarded closely by Corbin. They work the ball around the perimeter. That is Brianna Hall. Hall has it stolen away, but it's stolen right back, and in for an uncontested layup is Bird, but she misses. Hall gets the rebound, puts it up, no good, and Brianna Hall will go to the line to shoot a pair, and the foul goes against Emma Voss. Brianna Hall's first free throw is no good. She raises her second. That one also strong off the back out. Byron, and rebounds cleared off by Edgerton. Up they come with it to Gotham. Gotham drives left side. Looks like a double dribble, but yes, there is a double dribble call. Gives the ball back over to Cowan. Substitution for the Lady Broncos, or correction, the Lady Blackhawks. Same colors, same first initial of their nickname. We're going to tie my tongue tonight. But in the lineup for Cowan is Hyatt as the Blackhawks have possession. Between the circles now is Hall, goes right side with it to Brianna Hall, down the baseline to Hyatt. Hyatt kicks it back out on top. They work the ball quickly around the perimeter. It's stolen away by Daleville's Corbin, but she loses it, and Bird goes in for the layup and scores. Broncos with a steal. They lose possession and gives Cowan an uncontested layup. 2-0 your score. Gossip with it for Daleville. Trishelle Johnson now between the circles. 4:25 to play first quarter. And there's another steal by Hall of Cowan. She takes it in and scores it. And with that, Coach Ashley Faust calls a timeout. 4-0 to score, 4:19 to play here. Quarter number one, we'll take a short break to listen to Bronco basketball. That's Lady Bronco basketball on Daily Athletics. Broncos will take it the length of the court. Trishelle Johnson will trigger it in. Broncos trail at 4-0 here in the early going. Gottfried into the front court working against the Cowan man-to-man defense. Now Corbin goes high right side back to Gottfried. Now between the circles to Etchison. Etchison near side to Corbin. Corbin down the baseline to Gottfried. Third baseline three-pointer. High arching shots too strong. Rebounds cleared off by Bird of Cowan. She gets up quickly to Lindsay. Lindsay now to Bird left side. Bird drives the lane. Comes near side with it to Hall. Top of the key now to Lindsay. In top of the key, or high post, I say it goes to Bird. Now they go down the baseline to Hyatt. Kicks it back out on top. They skip it across far side. Now, three-pointer, she thinks about it, is Lindsay, but they go right side with it to Hall. Her shot's no good. Cowan gets the rebound, puts up a shot and misses, but the Lady Blackhawks will go to the line, and it will be Bird to shoot a pair as she was fouled, putting the rebound shot back up. Josie Bird's first free throw is up and good. Substitution for Daleville as Voss sits down in the lineup for the first time this evening for Daleville is Kayla Porter. Paul's second free throw, correction, that is Bird's second free throw is up and good, making it a 6-0 count here at the 37 mark of the first quarter. Gottfried shouting instructions as she moves the ball between the circles, goes high post with it to Trishelle Johnson. Johnson looks for the backboard cut but throws it out of bounds as McKenna Corbin was unable to handle the pass. Another substitution. Bird re-enters the lineup for Cowan, and sitting down is Brooklyn Hall. Into the front court for the Lady Broncos is Lindsay. Lindsay between the circles comes near side with it, working against the Broncos zone. They go down inside to Carter. Carter's tied up, having stolen away by Trishelle Johnson. Johnson now in the front court for Daleville, being guarded there by Bird. And she tries to pass top to top to Gottfried, but it's deflected and out of bounds. Broncos retain possession. Johnson to Gottfried now. Gottfried between the circles. Gottfried drives right, step back, three-pointer, another high-action shot. This time it's nothing but the bottom of the net. Puts the Broncos on the scoreboard as they pull within 3 points. Between the circles now for Cowan is Lindsay. Or correction, that's Bird. Or no, it was Lindsay. Now near side to Bird. Her long three-pointers off the backboard, no good. Rebounds cleared off by Trishelle Johnson of Daleville. Johnson drives right side, loses it, but we're going to get a reach-in foul, I believe, against Cowan. Goes against Josie Bird. Fifth foul of the half for Cowan as Gottfried catches the inbound pass on the wing, penetrates in the lane, step back, 17-footer off the back iron, no rebounds cleared off by Lindsay of Cowan. Lindsay into the front court. Looking, gives it off to Carter, nearly loses it, but it's picked up by Hall. Back high left side with it is Lindsay. Lindsay now tries to go down the baseline, but an errant pass picked up by Trishelle Johnson. Johnson drives the lane, puts up a runner. In and out, no good. Rebounds fought for up with his McKenna Corbin. Corbin looks, being guarded closely, gets it out to Gottfried, nearly loses it out of bounds, but she regains possession. Now Aston between the circles, driving left, gives it to Trishelle Johnson. She thinks about a long three and finally lets fly with about a 26-footer off the iron. No. Rebounds cleared off by Hall of Cowan, and up quickly with it is Lindsay. Lindsay back to Hall. Hall penetrates in the lane, has it stolen away. McKenna Corbin with it in the front court. She drives the lane, kicks it back out to Gotham. She lets fly with a three off the iron. No. Rebounds cleared off by Carter of Cowan. 6-3 to score still, as we go under a minute to 30 to play here in the first quarter. They're driving the baseline for Cowan and she has it blocked from behind by Trishelle Johnson. They're going to get Trishelle with the foul call. So Josie Bird will go to the line and she'll pair for the Blackhawks. Bird's first free throw is good. Substitutions for Cowan as Brooklyn Bird enters the lineup, and also entering is Prism Mori. Second free throw is also good, and that makes it an 8-3 Cowan lead with 1:24 to go here in the first quarter of play. Gothard now between the circles. Crossover dribble. Let's fly with a three-pointer straight away. That one's off the glass and good. The bank's open here on Friday night. That trims the Cowan lead to 2. And they get it up quickly. That is Bird in the lane, but they're going to catch McKenna Corbin with the blocking foul as Bird drove it somewhat out of control, but again, the foul does go against Daleville. Fourth foul and a half on Daleville. Cowan triggers the ball in bounds, and as they reverse the ball around the perimeter, McKenna Corbin bumped into one of the Hall sisters, I believe, and another foul against Daleville, the fifth against Daleville, and Cowan retains possession. We're going under a minute to play here, first quarter. Hall with it, comes near side with it to Bird, back to Hall between the circles. They'll go far side now to Brianna Hall, who tries to pass down the baseline, but it's knocked out of bounds. Cowan retains. Brianna Hall gets the ball into Brooklyn. Brooklyn Hall back to her sister. Left wing, top of the key now. Brooklyn now near side. It comes to Carter. Carter right wing. They work the ball around the perimeter. Hall with it left wing. Now Brooklyn comes near side with it to Carter. She drives baseline, cut off, goes down inside the base. Say the pass to Maury found her standing on the end line. Turnover gives the ball to the Lady Broncos. 8-6 the score here. 30 seconds to play. Quarter number 1. We'll see if Daleville can knock things up at the quarter break. If not, take a 1-point lead on this possession. Crossover dribble by Gothard. Goes right side, kicks it off. There's a three-pointer off the front iron. No good by Daleville. And then McKenna Corbin has a shot blocked. Now a three-pointer right wing by Gothard's no good. And finally up with it for Cowan is Hall as there's under 10 seconds to play. Brooklyn Hall gives it off to her sister. She drives the lane. Hall's runner in the lane is up and good. The basket by Brianna Hall as the horn sounds to end the first quarter of play gives the Cowan Lady Blackhawks a 10-6 lead. And with that, we'll take a break. We'll be back with second quarter action. You're listening to Lady Bronco Basketball on Daleville Athletics. Michelle Johnson will trigger the inbounds to start the second quarter here as she's in front of the Daleville student section. In it goes to Gothard. Broncos trail it by 4. Cowan in a man-to-man. It goes high right to McKenna Corbin. Corbin off the ball screen. Gives it to Michelle Johnson, high left side. She edges his ball screen, drives in the lane, puts it runner, has it partially blocked. Michelle will go line to shoot a pair. I think they're going to get Brooklyn Hall, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Michelle's first free throws off the back iron, too strong. Michelle's second shot rims in and out, no good. Rebounds cleared off by Cowan. They give the ball up quickly to Maury, back out to Hall. Hall drives left side. Her runner in the lane is off the iron, no good. Rebounds cleared off by Porter of Daleville. And up with it now quickly is Gothard. Gothard drives left, crossover dribble. Now top of the key to Trishelle Johnson. Johnson goes high right side to Corbin. Corbin, being guarded, uses the ball screen from Porter, kicks it out to Addison Gothrop. Gothrop, top of the key, three-pointer. Off the back iron, no. Loose spot for, and it is Brianna Hall with it for Cowan. Hall now goes inside the three-point arc. Goes inside to Bird. Her scoop shot's no good. Rebounds cleared off, though, by Cowan's Maury, but she promptly throws it out of bounds. It will be Bronco possession. Substitution. A pair for Cowan into the lineup tonight for the Lady Broncos. Actually, Lindsay re-enters the lineup, and also in for Daleville, a correction for Cowan is Kylie Bergstrom. Gothrop with it for Daleville. Near side now to Trishelle Johnson. Johnson uses the ball screen from Edgerton, kicks it over high right side to McKenna Corbin. McKenna now to Gothrop. Gothrop drives left side, puts up a runner, is off the iron, no. Rebounds cleared off by Hall of Daleville, but where they're going to get Gothrop on the reach-in. Foul against Addison, and that's her first of the team's sixth. Broncos still in a 2-3 zone. Left wing it goes now to Hall. Now between the circles to Lindsay. Right side to Carter. They work the ball around the perimeter. Lindsay finds an open Blackhawk player, and that in underneath the basket, and she puts it up and is fouled hard. So Kylie Bergstrom will go to the line. That foul goes against Trishelle Johnson. And the first free throw by Bergstrom's up and good. Makes it an 11-6. Lady Blackhawk lead. Second free throw off the back iron, no. Fought for it. Trishelle Johnson throws it off, gives it up to Addison Gothrop. Gothrop, left wing, drives left baseline. She's cut off. Kicks it back out to Johnson. It's tipped and deflected out of bounds off Johnson's hands. And gives the ball back over to the Lady Blackhawks. Substitution. Carter sits down for Cowan, and Brooklyn Hall re-enters. Lindsay into the front court for Cowan. Comes near side with it to Brianna Hall. Now top of the key to Brooklyn. Brooklyn now left side to Lindsay. Lindsay on the left wing. Near side it comes. And there is a runner in the lane that's too strong, put up there by Hall of Cowan. Trishelle Johnson with it for Dale. Kicks it off the top of the key to Addison Gothrop, who buries her second three of the night. Makes it an 11-9 Cowan lead as we're nearing the 5:30 mark here of quarter number two. Hall with it goes down on the baseline to Bergstrom, who has it stripped away from her, and up with it is Johnson, who gets it to Gothrop, but she fires her pass too hard. It goes off Addison's hands and out of bounds. Back over to the Lady Blackhawks. We got a timeout, it looks like, called by Coach Tharp of Cowan. So we will take a short break. You're listening to Lady Bronco Basketball. The Blackhawk basketball. Brooklyn Hall will look to trigger the ball inbounds to Lindsay. So you got Hall, Lindsay. You've got Brianna Hall, also Bird and Bergstrom. Cowan basketball. Right side, Hall, 15-foot jump shots, too strong. Rebounds cleared off by her sister. Kicks it back out. There's a too strong jump shot there by Bird. And the ball it goes out of bounds, and we're going to get a foul call, I believe, against Cowan. Goes against Brooklyn Hall, her second. Just the fourth foul for Cowan. In the front court, Addison Gothrop. She splits the defenders, kicks it back out on top to Trishelle Johnson. Broncos spread the floor here, trailing by 2 under the 5-minute mark, and they're going to get Lindsay with a bump on top. Foul. As she knocked McKenna Corbin to the floor. Broncos still not in the bonus. So they trigger inbounds. Gothrop with it. She drives right side, hasn't stolen away, but she is able to retain possession, picks it up, comes in to Trishelle Johnson. Johnson now to Gothrop high right side. Gothrop penetrates, goes on the baseline with Etchison. Etchison back to Gothrop. Addison crossover dribble, still about 30 feet from the basket. Tries to get it into an open Trishelle Johnson, but the pass hangs up too long, stolen away by Cowan. Up with it for the Lady Broncos is Bird. Her scoop shot in the lane is no good. Rebound's put off by Etchison of Daleville. Gothrop now into the front court for the Lady Broncos. Gothrop, 25-footer, is no good. Out of bounds. Gives the ball back to the Lady Blackhawks. No substitution for Daleville. Etchison will sit down, as will. No, I take that back. It'll be Porter that sits down. And Voss re-enters the lineup. Substitution for Cowan. Brooklyn Hall sits down, and in the lineup tonight, I believe for the first time, is Melissa Stevens. Broncos into a 1-3-1 half-court trap now. They come into Hall. Hall, right wing. You sit back out between the circles. They go top of the key to Bird. Bird finds an open Hall on the baseline. His shot's up, no good. Rims in and out. And we got out of bounds, last touch by Daleville, so the Lady Blackhawks have retained possession. Brianna Hall, trigger ball in bounds for Cowan. She gets it in to Lindsay, now top of the key. Broncos looks like they're going back into their 2-3 zone. Near side it comes to Stevens. Stevens now back out on top to Lindsay. Back to Stevens near side, being guarded closely by Addison Gothrop. Lindsay into the lane. Goes down the baseline to Hall. Back to Bird in the lane, whose bank shot is up and good. Makes it a 13-9. Lady Blackhawk lead as we get down nearing the 3-minute mark of the second quarter. Gothrop gives it off to McKenna Corbin. Corbin drives right. Broncos look to be running a set play. Corbin looking out on the right wing, looking for Trishelle Johnson. Now gets it up between the circles to Gothrop. Gothrop dribbles slowly, uses the ball screen from Corbin. Tries to reverse to McKenna, but the bad pass is stolen away, and there's a runner in the lane that's up and good by Lindsay. Gives Cowan, I believe that makes it a 15-9. Yep. Shots up and good, makes it 15-9, and there's also a foul call against Daleville, so to the line would go Davelyn Lindsay. Lindsay's free throws hard off the back iron. Rebounds put off by McFall. Daleville gets it out. Tries to get it to Gothrop, but it's knocked out of bounds. Saved, and ball's loose and fought for. In the backcourt, Gothrop finally comes up with it. She crosses the timeline, being guarded closely by Hall, and it's knocked away loose on the court. And they say over and back, gives the ball to Cowan, as the Bronco fans were unhappy with that one. 15-9 your score, 2:27 to go here, quarter number 2. The Broncos trail it. Daleville in their 2-3 zone. Lindsay with it, top of the key, finds an open Blackhawk down the baseline, who kicks it out. Shots up, no good. Rebounds put off by Hall. Back out on top to Lindsay. Lindsay shuffled her feet on the drive. Gives the ball back over to Daleville. Trishelle Johnson now running the point for the Broncos, working against the man-to-man defense of Cowan. They've got a set play called. Johnson drives right wing, tries to go inside to McFall, but is kicked out of bounds. Last touch by the Blackhawks. Trishelle Johnson, the free ball in bounds in front of the Cowan bench, gets it into Goffert, high right side. Goffert in no hurry as we're going to the 2-minute mark here of the first half. Goffert goes high right side to Johnson. Johnson uses the ball screen from McFall. Spin dribble in the lane, dribbles right into a defender, has it stolen away, and up quickly for Cowan is Lindsay, but she has it stolen away, and up with it for Daleville is Goffert. Goffert drives the lane, going to get a reach-in foul, I believe, against the Lady Blackhawks. And that goes against Lindsay. That's the 5th foul of the half on Cowan. Goffert tunes it in for Daleville, and substitution was not able to get in soon enough, so the Cowan sub was not able to come in. Trishelle Johnson has it now for Daleville between the circles. Johnson high right side to Etchison. Etchison on the right wing, got a whistle. And illegal screen, they say, against Daleville's McFall. Gives the ball back over to Cowan. Lindsay into the front court slowly with it for Cowan. Comes near side with it to Hall. Hall penetrates, gets back on top of Lindsay. Lindsay goes left side with it to Stevens. Stevens on the right baseline. Comes back out to Lindsay. Ball nearly stolen away to get it near side to Hall. Now there's a 16-foot straightaway shot that is too strong there by Bird. Gets her own rebound, puts it up again, no good. And the ball is knocked out of bounds. We'll see who the foul is going to go against. Apparently it's going to go against Daleville because the ball's staying on this end. So no foul called. The ball just was knocked out of bounds by the Lady Broncos. Blackhawks trade the ball inbounds near side. It comes to Hall. Hall on the right elbow. Penetrates. Comes near side. Tries to get it near side, but they go down inside to Carter, who's sitting around shot. And the lane is up and good off the assist from Lindsay. 17-9 now your score as we're under a minute to play here in the first half. Goffert into the front court. She's being guarded by Hall. Goffert comes near side with it to Etchison. Etchison drives, kicks it out to Trishelle Johnson. 26 seconds to go here. Nearly stolen away there by Cowan, but Goffert picks up the loose ball, puts up a 3, and she's fouled in the process, so Goffert will shoot 3 free throws. That foul went against Brianna Hall. Goffert's first free throw is off the front iron, short. Goffert readies her second free throw. That was good. She'll have a third. Third free throw by Goffert is also good. Makes it a 17-11 ball game here with 22 seconds to play. Broncos pick up a full-court pressure in the backcourt. With it is Lindsay. Lindsay to Hall. Hall into the front court now. Drives the lane. Puts up a runner off. Too strong. Rebounds cleared off by Trishelle Johnson. We're down to 10 seconds. Goffert now into the front court. Driving left. She's cut off. Loses her footing. Loses it. Loose ball's picked up by Cowan with 2 seconds. There's a shot. It is up and just a bit too strong there by Brianna Hall. And that's going to do it for the first quarter of play as the Cowan Lady Blackhawks lead our Broncos by the score of 17-11 at the halftime break. We'll take a short break and be back hopefully with some halftime numbers. You're listening to Lady Bronco Basketball and Delaware Athletics. We're back here at halftime of the first game of our girl-boy doubleheader, where the Cowan Lady Blackhawks lead Daleville by the score of 17-11. Looking at the score by quarters, Cowan jumped out to a 10-6 lead at the first quarter break and then outscored Daleville 7-5 in the second quarter to give you that 17-11 scores. We look at first half scoring first for the visiting Lady Blackhawks. Get the first names here. Brooklyn Hall did not score. One of the stars did not score for Cowan, but Brianna Hall had two two-point field goals for 4 points. Cheyenne Carter had one two-point field goal for 2 points. Josie Bird had two-point field goals and was 4 from 4 from the line for 8 points. Davelyn Lindsay had one two-point field goal for 2 points. And Kylie Bergstrom was 1 of 2 from the line for 1 point. So the Cowan Lady Blackhawks there were led by the 8 points of Josie Bird there in the first half of play. Looking at our own Daleville Broncos, as we said, they had only 11 points for the entire first half and didn't register with me, but now as I look at the scorebook, all 11 of the first half points were scored by Addison Gothrop as she hit 3 3-point field goals and was 2 of 3 from the line. So the leading scores at halftime, again, for Cowan was Josie Bird with 8, and for Daleville, Addison Gothrop had 11. And before we take another break here at halftime, pretty obvious there that the Broncos, if they want to win this basketball game, are going to have to give Addison some help in the scoring column, along with cutting down on the turnovers here in this first half of our Mid-Eastern Conference doubleheader. We will take another extended break and be back with some be back with third quarter action. You're listening to Lady Bronco Basketball on Daleville Athletics. We're just about ready to get the second half started here. Once again, Delville trails it by a 17 to 11 count. It's going to be Cowan Lady Blackhawk basketball here to start the third quarter. Lindsay into the front court with it for the Blackhawks. Broncos still in the 2-3 zone. They go high right side with it now to Brooklyn Hall. Hall goes high post with it to Bird. Gets it right wing, and they whip the ball around the perimeter quickly. Now with it is Hall, who tries to skip the ball across the court, but it's stolen away by Daleville. Up in the front court with his Addison Goffard. Goffard now being double teamed, has it knocked away and stolen away, and there's a layup that is up and good by Lindsay, and a whistle blows as Addison Goffard takes a tumble off the end of the floor. And she appears to be in some pain, but is down there trying to shake it off. Of course, Addison providing the entire offensive punch in the ball game now to this point for Daleville. Addison now in the front court with it, comes near side to Maddie Etchison. Etchison dribble centers, looking. Etchison with it now to Trishelle Johnson. Trishelle Johnson between the circles, uses the ball screen from McFall. Her three-pointer is too strong. Rebounds loose and fought for, and finally picked up by Cowan. And in the front court with it is Lindsay. Lindsay penetrates, goes down left baseline with it to Hall. Her three-pointer is too strong. Rebound split off by McFall. Daleville gives up to Gossip. Now to Trishelle Johnson. Johnson loses it momentarily, has it knocked out of bounds by Hall of Cowan. Broncos will trigger the ball on bounds. Looks up there and give him nearly in the corner. Trishelle Johnson down almost to the baseline on the side. She gets it into Goffert. Goffert comes near side to Johnson. Johnson dribble centers, far side to Etchison. Etchison penetrates in the lane. Nearly travels, kicks it out to Goffert. Goffert backs it out. Now she's got on the left wing. Let's fly with a three-pointer. That is nothing but the bottom net. Addison Goffert now with 14 points and pulls Daleville back within 5. Right wing it goes to Hall of Cowan. Near side now to Lindsay. Goes down inside with it. Tries to go inside the Bird, but it's knocked away. Stolen away by Daleville. It was Voss who got the steal to get it up to Goffert. He goes down inside to Trishelle Johnson. Trishelle shots too strong. And whistle. And the foul is going to go against Goffert, I believe. That's just Addison's second foul. Substitution for Cowan. And before we find out who that is, there's a quick timeout called, I believe, by Daleville. So we will take a short break and be back in 30. Daleville looks like they're going to extend some pressure here. Cowan throws long, finds an open Hall, and gets it down inside to a wide open Blackhawk player, and that was a new player into the ball game. The basket was scored there by, find her name, Elizabeth Sizemore, makes it a 21-14 game. Gothard now gets it out on top to Michelle Johnson. Johnson to Gothard. She drives left side, backs it out. Thinks about it. Three, gives it to Trishelle Johnson, who's bumped in the backcourt, and we're going to get a foul against Cowan's Josie Bird. Trishelle Johnson hobbled a bit there. And it's going to be Delaware basketball in front of the scorer's table. Addie looking to get the ball in bounds. Finally gets it into Trishelle Johnson. Back to Addison. Gothard between the circles. Addison comes near side with it to Etchison. Etchison loses it momentarily. And, the ball was never touched. Dribbled it, picked it up instead of dribbling again. Turnover gives the ball back to Cowan. (21-14) your score. 5:20 to go here. Third quarter of play. Into the front court with it for Cowan is Lindsay. She goes right side. Back to Lindsay on top. And they try to go high post with it, but it's knocked around, stolen away. Voss comes up with it now to Gothard behind the back dribble. 3-pointer left wing. In and out, no good. Rebounds fought forward, knocked out of bounds, last touched by Cowan. So Etchison will trigger the ball in bounds for the Broncos as Carter re-enters the lineup for Cowan, replacing Lindsay. Get the ball in bounds from McFall. Now Gothard, high left side. Gothard loses it momentarily. Uses the ball screen from Johnson. Steps back out with it between the circles. Uses the ball screen again. Nothing doing. Addison between the circles. Being guarded there. Thinks about a step back three. Gives it to Trishelle Johnson. Johnson drives it right side. Now to Etchison. Etchison penetrates. Kicks it back out on top to Gothard. Broncos still trail up by 7. Nearing the midway part of the third quarter. Ball's knocked out of bounds momentarily there by Bird. And McKenna Corbin re-enters the lineup. Daleville as McFall sits down. Trishelle Johnson is triggered in front of the scorer's table. Gets it into Addison Gothard. Johnson now, high left side. Penetrates. Near side it comes to Corbin. Corbin gives it off to Gothard, knocked away momentarily. Broncos running the offense about 30 feet from the basket here. Gothard, and a whistle. And an illegal screen against Daleville. No, I take that back. They're going to get Hall on the bump there while the screen was occurring. And Corbin will trigger the ball in bounds for Daleville underneath her own basket. Corbin gets it into Gothard. Her three-pointer left wing is short. Carter with the rebound for Cal to get the ball in the front court with it to Hall, who goes down the baseline with it to Sizemore, but her shot's no good. But it was deflected out of bounds on the rebound by Daleville, so Cowan will have the ball out of bounds underneath their own basket. Hall with it down the left baseline. Now gets it out on top to Sizemore. Sizemore. Now to Bird. Bird goes down inside with it to Hall. They go back out to Bird. They work the ball around the perimeters. Hall with it on the right side. Goes inside to Bird. Her shot in the lane's partially blocked. Rebounds cleared off by Trishelle Johnson. Broncos still trail up by 7. 3:30 to go here, third quarter. McKenna Corbin with it right wing. Carries it. No call, unfortunately. And Gothard lets fly with the 25-footers. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Addison Gothard makes it a 21-17 ball game. Broncos still in that 2-3 zone. Hall with it between the circles for Cowan. She gives it off to Brooklyn Hall. Brooklyn, patient, standing actually in the center circle. Now gives it off to Bird. Goes right wing to Hall. That's Brianna Hall to Bird to Brooklyn Hall. Back to Bird. Now to Brianna Hall. And we got a whistle. And another timeout is called by Cowan. That's a full timeout. So we'll take a break here. You're listening to Lady Bronco Basketball and Delaware Athletics. We'll see if Cowan comes back with any kind of a different look here in the last 2.5 minutes or so of the third quarter, because they were very patient with it. Rocco's still in the 2-3 zone. Cowan triggers the ball in bounds. Hall with it right wing. That is Brianna Hall. Now between the circles, still in no hurry as Lindsay comes near side with it. A Bird to skip it across to Hall. Brianna Hall plays pitch and catch out there. She drives right baseline. She's cut off. Gives it off to Carter. Carter shot fakes and then gives it off to Lindsay. Lindsay down on the baseline. And there's a shot in the lane by Carter. Is up and good. Makes it 23-17 Blackhawks. 2 minutes to go here, quarter number 3. Gothard now, crossover dribble. Backs it out. She's being guarded there by Brianna Hall. Gothard now tries to go high post with it to Michelle Johnson, but Johnson unable to come up the ball. Johnson still looks to be a bit hobbled from an earlier spill that she took. Walking it across the timeline for Cowan is Lindsay. Dable and Lindsay now standing in the center circle as we near the minute 30 mark here of quarter number 3. Neither team in a big hurry. Top of the key, the ball goes from Cowan. Now they kick it out to Hall. Hall with it, right baseline, goes top of the key. Now they go left on to the left baseline to Carter. Now on top, they're looking around the perimeter. That is Brianna Hall on the right wing. Goes to Carter, back to Brianna Hall. Ball's knocked away momentarily. Out on top it goes. Now there's a three-pointer by Bird. It's off the front iron. No good. Rebound's cleared off by Trishelle Johnson. But Dale Doyle gets it up to Addison Gothard. Gothard's going to put up a run of the lane. No good. They say she was fouled on the floor. Goes against Lindsay of Cowan, her third. Gothard will make the inbounds pass. Lobs it to Trishelle Johnson in the lane. Johnson snares it. Steps back dribble. Lets fly with a three-pointer straight away. He's too strong. And the loose ball is cleared off by Lindsay of Cowan. Lindsay goes down inside with it. Tries to go inside the Bird, but it's knocked away, stolen away momentarily by Daleville. But the loose ball is picked up by Cowan's Sizemore. They're working the ball around the perimeter. Now, near side it comes to Bird. Skips across far side to Brianna Hall, and she's bumped by Addison Gothard. So Addison's going to pick that foul up, and that is her third foul. See if they're going to leave her in. Thought they might take her out there for the end of the third quarter. Cowan basketball. In the circle with it is Brianna Hall. Goes right side with it to Lindsay. Skips it back out on top to Hall. 18 seconds. Hall with the ball on her hip. Brianna Hall with it. The hold for the last shot. 10 seconds, 9 seconds. Goes right side with it to Lindsay to go down inside to Carter. Carter looking, kicks it back out, and there is a three-pointer let fly off the back iron. No good, and that's going to do it for the quarter as Elizabeth Sizemore missed that three-pointer to end the third quarter of play. Your score is Cowan 23, Daleville 17. We'll be back with fourth quarter action in a minute. This is Lady Bronco Basketball, Daleville Athletics. So both teams scored 6 points in the third quarter to take what was a 17-11 halftime lead for Cowan and make it a 23-17 third quarter lead. So still a 6-point spread. And if I'm not mistaken, Addison Gossip is still the only Lady Bronco to crack the scoring column. And got a whistle before the start of play there. Apparently a wet spot on the floor in front of the Cowan bench. And we'll have a do-over on the inbounds pass. Gothard inbounds it to Corbin. Corbin now. Back to Gothard by right side. Gives it now to Etchison between the circles. Now Corbin left wing goes down the baseline to Gothard. Baseline three-pointer is in and out, no good. And the ball is knocked out of bounds. The Lady Broncos will retain possession. Gothard to trigger it in. We'll see if she'll make the lob. Nope, she gets it right wing to Trishelle Johnson. Now to Maddie Etchison. Etchison now high, right side now to Gothard. Gothard being shadowed by two players. And we're going to whistle on a bump against, I believe that's going to go against Brianna Hall. Take that back, it goes against Lindsay. Just the fourth foul of the half for the Lady Blackhawks. Gothard now in the circle for Daleville. Lobs it to Trishelle Johnson, but it goes out of bounds overhead off the fingertips of Johnson. Turnover. Sizemore triggers one bounds for Cowan. Gives it off to Lindsay. High post now to Bird, to Sizemore. Sizemore to Lindsay between the circles. Now goes right wing with it to Hall. Top of the key to Bird. Bird drives, puts up a scoop shot, lanes up and good. Extends the Blackhawk lead to 8. 7 minutes to go in the ballgame. Gothard in the circle for Daleville. To Corbin. Corbin being guarded there by Sizemore. Corbin drives right. Picks up the dribble. Gothard straight away three-pointer. High archer off the end rim. No good. Rebounds cleared off by Lindsay. She gets it up quickly to Hall, but it goes off her fingertips and out of bounds. Bronco basketball once again. Substitution for Cowan. Stevens in the lineup for the Lady Broncos, or correction, for the Lady Blackhawks, as Sizemore sits down. Gothard now, crossover dribble between the circles. Thinks about a step back three, tries to pass off to Johnson, but lazy pass is stolen away. The runner in the lane by Burge, no good. Rebound's put off by McKenna Corbin. McKenna up with it quickly. She's going to go inside with Edson. Her shot's up and good. Maddie Edson with a pair. Draws Daleville back to within 6 and gets a second player into the scoring column for the Broncos. Carter, 15-foot baseline jump shot's no good, but the rebound's cleared off by Hall. They get it to Lindsay. Now it comes to Stevens. Back to Lindsay between the circles. Goes right wing with it. There's a 15-footer. Is in and out and drops back in. Basket by Hall. That is Brianna Hall. Makes it a 27-19 ball game. That's Gothard between the circles. She's been guarded by Brianna Hall. She drives the lane. She's tripped. Takes a spill. Foul goes against Brianna Hall. Whistle. And a full timeout taken by Cowan, so we'll take another break. You're listening to Lady Bronco Basketball on Devil Athletics. Corbin, the triggered inbound pass for Delva, gets into Etchison in the right baseline, looking now, penetrates, puts up another runner in lane, no good, but she's fouled. So Maddie Etchison will go to the line to shoot a pair. See if Delva will look to attack the basket a little bit more here in the last 5.5 minutes of play to hopefully get to the line. Maddie's first free throw's up and good. Etchison's second is off the back iron. No, but rebound's cleared off by Voss. The long rebound, they get it to Gothard. Gothard drives left baseline. We're going to get a push-off foul against Brooklyn Hall. And that's the 7th. So Addison Gothard will go to the line to shoot the bonus. All the more reason why the Broncos need to look to attack the basket. First free throw by Gothard is good. And she'll have another. Second one's off the back iron, no loose. Fought forward, rebounds cleared off by Brianna Hall. Into the front court with it for the Lady Blackhawks. Goes down inside over to Carter. Carter back out to Hall. Hall right wing being guarded closely by Gothard. Into the lane, drive the right baseline goes Brianna Hall, but she jumped up, came back down. A traveling call gives the ball back over to the Broncos. So the Broncos have not been very effective on the offensive end, but they still trail it by only 6 points here with 5 minutes to go in the ball game. Corbin to Gothard. Gothard now between the circles to Etchison to Corbin on the baseline. Three-pointer by Gothard. Left baseline is up and good. Addison Gothard pulls the Broncos to within 3. Broncos pick up with some three-quarter court pressure, and there's a steal. They force the steal on the press. Gothard another 3 left side. Off the front iron, no. Rebounds loose. Spot 4. Cleared off. Gossip with it now, and a whistle, and a timeout is called by Daleville as the Broncos pull within 3 points at 27-24 here with 4:38 to go in the ball game. We will take a break as they take a full timeout. You're listening to Lady Bronco Basketball on Delaware Athletics. So it's Delaware basketball, trailing by only 3 points. They get the ball and bounce to Gothard. She's on the dribble. Let's fly with about a 26-footer. Left wing is short and out of bounds. Last touched there by Maddie Etchison. Gives the ball back over to Cowan. Broncos now look to be in a half-court trap. Cowan skips it down the baseline to Carter. They get it back out on top to Hall. Now near side it comes to Brooklyn Hall. Left baseline to Stevens. Tries to go inside. But it's stolen away by Voss. Up quickly with it is Etchison right wing. She's cut off on the right baseline. Loses balance. And bad pass goes out of bounds. And the ball goes back over to Cowan. 4:04 to go in the ball game. Broncos trail it by 3. We're under 4 minutes to play. Broncos in a half-court trap, and there's a steal there by Voss as Cowan tries to get the ball in the middle of the floor, and she's thrown to the floor, and that's going to send Daleville to the line. So some big free throws here by Emma Voss. She's got the opportunity to put Daleville to within 1 point if she can convert. Substitution for Cowan as Stevens sits down. Maury into the lineup for the Lady Blackhawks. Voss readies her first free throw. It's off the front iron, no rebounds, cleared off by Brooklyn Hall of Cowan. Hall into the lane, looks like she traveled, but no call. Brianna Hall with it now between the circles, being crowded closely by Daleville, and this ball is knocked out of bounds there by Trishelle Johnson. Trishelle still looks to have a gimpy leg or ankle there, but she's putting a lot of pressure on defensively, so we'll see if she can keep that up. 3:35 to go in the ballgame. Cowan basketball. Right wing with it is Hall. Kicks it out on top to Brooklyn Hall. Brooklyn being guarded closely by Johnson. Now she's trapped. Chase looked like a carry, but no foul, no call. Yep. The far official calls the carry, gives the ball back over to Daleville. So Broncos trail it by only 3 points. Johnson gets it to Gothard. Gothard in the circle. Gives it now to Corbin. Corbin, near side to Gothard. Now to Etchison between the circles. Corbin drives the lane, puts up a runner, too strong. Rebounds cleared off by Cowan's Bird. They give it to Hall, whistle, another double dribble, another turnover by Cowan. So the Broncos have opportunities here if they can either knock some baskets down or get to the line. Gothard between the circles. Being guarded by Hall. Lobs it inside to Trishelle Johnson. Johnson Turnaround shot in the length off the glass and good. Trishelle Johnson with the basket pulls Delville to within one. I think that's Trishelle's first bucket, if I remember correctly. There's another travel by Cowan, but no call. They go down on the baseline to Carter and got a whistle. And I think we're going to get, now I say a jump ball. Possession arrow. I actually don't see the possession arrow, but it's apparently in the direction of Cowan. Hall gets the ball inbounds to Carter, right baseline, and get it out top to Brooklyn Hall. Brooklyn to Brianna. Now on the baseline it goes. There's a shot by Maury. It's too strong. Rebound's finally cleared off by Gossip of Daleville. She's into the front court. Drives left with a push off, and Addison gave her the forearm and knocked her to the ground. And turnover, gives the ball, actually foul, gives the ball back over to Cowan, and more importantly, or at least of equal importance, is the fact that that's Gotham's fourth foul. 2:21 to go in the ball game. Bird triggers the ball inbounds to Brooklyn Hall. Broncos still in the half-court trap. They go down the baseline to Carter. Carter lets fly with a 15-footer. Rattles around and falls in. Big basket there by Carter. Cowan puts Cowan on top by 3. 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Goffert between the circles. Whistle, and we got a timeout by Daleville. So we'll take another break as the Broncos trail it by 3. 2 minutes even to go in the fourth quarter play. Etchison to Corbin. We're under 2 minutes to go. Broncos trail it by 3. Corbin now drives right wing. Looks. Finds Goffert, top of the key. She drives left. Step back. Three-pointer left wing is short. Rebounds cleared off by Cowan. Oh, and there's a travel by Brooklyn Hall. Gives the ball back over to Daleville. Johnson to Goffert, back to Johnson. Johnson goes top of the key to Corbin. Corbin now to Goffert. Goffert dribbles left, penetrates into the lane, puts up a scoop shot in the lane, up and good. Plays the elbow back to within 1. Broncos now three-quarter court pressure. And Cowan gets it into front court, goes down the baseline with it, but it's knocked away and stolen away. That push up for Daleville is McKenna Corbin, got a whistle. And what's the call? A 30-second timeout is called by Daleville. And the officials discuss things. It's going to be Daleville basketball on the near side, I believe, when play resumes. Cowan breaks the huddle as they come back out with Brooklyn Hall, Carter, Bird, Brianna Hall, and more for Cowan. Broncos with the same lineup: Johnson, Goffert, Etchison, Corbin, and Voss. Johnson to Goffert. Delville trails it by 1. We're under a minute to go in the basketball game. Goffert, high right side, uses the ball screen. Step back, three-pointer is short. Loose balls, fought for. Still fought for on the floor. We got a whistle and jump ball call. Broncos will retain possession with 46.3 seconds to play, and they trail it by 1. Cowan triggers the ball and down to Etchison. She's got it on the right baseline. She drives, got a whistle, and they call her for a travel. Broncos with a costly turnover here in the late going. Bird will trigger the ball and bounce for Cowan. She gets it into Hall. Back to Bird. Into the front court to bring in a Hall. Goes down inside, finds an open Cowan Blackhawk. That's Prism Moore with the basket. It's Cowan up on top by 3 here as we're under 30 seconds to go in the ball game. Gossip now with it, and Daleville wants a timeout. I believe it's going to be a full timeout, so we'll take a break. And we're back with the final 25.3 seconds as Daleville trails it by 3. You're listening to Lady Bronco Basketball on Daleville Athletics. We'll see what the Broncos drew up here on what, if isn't the last possession of the ball game, will be nearly the last possession. Johnson triggers the ball and bounce to Corbin. Corbin high left side with it to Shell Johnson, or to Etchison, I should say. Now on the baseline, it goes to Gotham. Gotham, three-pointer, right baseline, too strong. Johnson with the rebound for Delville. We're under 10 seconds, and she tries to skip across to Gotham. It's knocked out of bounds. It's going to be Delville basketball at midcourt with 5.7 seconds to play, trailing by 3 points. It's going to be Johnson to trigger it in. Looks to get into Gotham. Gotham in the backcourt. Just 5 seconds into the front court. She's being guarded there closer by Bird. Loses it. Let's fly with a long three-pointer. Is off the side basket and out of bounds, and that's going to do it for the ball game. Daleville falls to Cowan tonight in this Eastern Conference contest by the score of 31-28. We'll take a break and hopefully be back with some final numbers in game number 1 here as Daleville drops it by the score of, as I said, 31-28.
Oh, damn. Oh, man.
Back here at Devil High School, where the Cowan Lady Blackhawks topped the Lady Broncos in this evening's first contest by the final score of 31-28. We're looking at the score by quarters. It was 10-6 at the end of the first stanza, and then Cowan outscored Devils 7-5 in the second to make it 17-11 at halftime. Both teams put up 6 points in the third quarter to make it 23-17. Then in the final quarter, Daleville outscored Cowan 11-8. That wasn't enough, as Cowan was able to hold on and pick up the 31-28 victory. We will take another break and have some individual scoring totals for you here. You're listening to Daleville and Lady Bronco basketball.
All elementary, middle school, and high school cheerleaders, please report to the oxygen. Again, all elementary, middle school, and high school cheerleaders report to the oxygen.
We are back for the final time here in terms of game number one, looking at the final scoring totals. First for the victorious Cowan Lady Broncos. They were led by the 10 points of Jolene Bird. She was the only Lady Blackhawk in double figures. Cheyenne Carter and Brianna Hall each had 6 points. Daylin Lindsay had 4 points. Elizabeth Sizemore and Prism Mori both had 2 points. And Kylie Bergstrom added a free throw and 1 point there to give Cowan their final total of 31 points. And again, they were led by Josie Bird's 10. Looking at Daleville, Broncos had only 3 players crack the scoring column this evening. Trishelle Johnson had 1 2-point field goal in the fourth quarter of play for her 2 points. Maddie Etchison had a 2-point field goal in the fourth quarter to go along with being 1 of 2 from the line for 3 points. And the Broncos, of course, were led in scoring by the 23 points of Addison Goffert. Addison hit 6 3-pointers, and she was 3 of 5 from the line. Doesn't add up. Let me check that again. Oh, she also had 1 2-point field goal. So 6 3-point field goals, 1 2-point field goal, and she was 3 of 5 from the line to give you the 23 points that Addison knocked down this evening. The victory for Cowan runs their record to 4-10 overall. They're 2-4 in the Mid-Eastern Conference. Daleville drops to 2-13 overall, and they are 0-7 in the conference. Daleville's next contest will be against this same Cowan Blackhawk team. I take that back. They take on the winner of Cowan and Westdale in the county tournament next Thursday evening, January the 12th at Yorktown. So Daleville did get a bye, and they are going to have an opportunity to get revenge on Cowan if Cowan comes out victorious against Westdale, and that one could probably go either way. The next home contest will be Thursday, January the 19th against Eastern Hancock. That's going to do it for now. We'll be back in 7 or 8 minutes, something like that, to bring you tonight's second contest, the boys matchup. With that, we will take an extended break and be back with the varsity game, varsity boys game. You are listening to Bronco Basketball and General Athletics. We are back for the second game of the Mid-Eastern Conference doubleheader tonight at Delville High School. And, of course, the Delville Broncos will be hosting their ancient rivals, the Cowan Blackhawks, this evening in another Mid-Eastern Conference game. As we look at these matchups, first for Cowan, their head coach is the venerable Aaron Groves. He is 23 and 29 in his third year at Cowan after a stint some years ago coaching the Union Rockets. And he is 36 and 78 overall. But as I said, 23 and 29 at Cowan. The Blackhawks this year have a record of 3 wins and 4 losses. They're 1-1 in the Eastern Conference, which is good for a tie for 4th place. The Blackhawks opened the season winning 3 of their first 4 ball games over Hagerstown. The wins coming over Hagerstown, Tri-Central, and Shenandoah. That, however, was followed up by 3 straight losses to 3 straight very strong ball clubs in Blue River Valley, Tri-High, and Tipton. Cowan has been off since December the 17th, so we'll see if that 3-week layoff leaves them a bit rusty. For the Broncos tonight, their head coach, of course, is Ashley Fouts. She's 17 and 15 in her second year as head coach of the Bronco Boys Club. The Broncos currently have a record of 3 and 4 overall. They're 1 and 4 in the Mid-Eastern Conference, which is good for 8th place. Like Cowan, Delville's been idle for 3 weeks, and it's been nearly a month since they've won a game, that being a 39-36 win at Centerville. They followed that up with 3 state losses, the last one being a 53-50 heartbreaker to county rival Westell. These two teams are, as I said before, ancient rivals who have been playing each other for at least 100 years. We only have records for the last 35 years, and in that time, Delville holds a slim 27-26 margin, with the Broncos taking the most recent meeting, that being a 47-44 victory in the sectional last March at Westell. We will take another break and then turn it over to the PA announcer for the starting lineups, which will follow the national anthem.
Get stick!
And like you're basically aiming it at them, so like when they come out, and then what we're doing is we're doing figure eights, and then like when they call it, we'll stop it.
As you know, the Delville community suffered a loss this week with the passing of Mr. Ron Gibson, a.k.a. Gibby. For the past 6 years, Mr. Gibson was a 5th and 6th grade teacher and basketball coach at Delville Elementary. His wife, Ms. Gibson, currently teaches at the high school. Many of our students have Mr. Gibson as a teacher and or as a coach. We want to take this time to honor him with a moment of silence to remember what a profound mark he has left on our children and our community. Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Gibson. All right, again, welcome to Paul Bears. Always a great day for the Broncos. For tonight's second part of the doubleheader between the visiting Cowan Platinum and your Belleville Broncos. This relationship is one of the primary purposes of athletics. Our student athletes play a part that does not come by coaches, officials, and themselves are made correctly and should be respected. Spectators can support both teams by refraining from derogatory or demeaning comments. We hope that you all play the game and support the students in a positive and sports-like manner. Now, if everyone could please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Let's read the Lakers who got lost. First, Vietnam Brothers. Number 3, Luke Garrett. Number 5, Blaine Warner. Number 10, Coach Rico. Number 12, Evan Walker. Number 24, Jacob Bear. Number 24, Jason Jones. Number 7, Disney Rose. And now for the Brothers, number 1, Mason Kidd. Number 2, Jimmy Watson. Number 20, Kevin Smith. Number 22, Bradley Well. Number 21, Cole Duncan. The black one is Edward.
Now.
All right, Bronco fans, get on your feet and come on, Noah, listen.
We are just about ready to get things started. Again, starting lineups, the Blackhawks are going with Mason Kidd, number 1, Timmy Watson, number 2, Griffin Smith, number 20, Bradley Terrell, number 22, and the big Cole Duncan in the middle, number 21. Duncan will be stepping in to tip it off against Merrick Adams and Daleville. Also starting for the Broncos is Dylan Scott, Dylan Romine, Carson Buck, and Coleman Newsom. The tap is up and controlled by the Blackhawks, and they give it off. We go left wing with the Broncos in man-to-man defense. Between the circles it goes. Watson's long three-pointers off the iron. No rebounds cleared off by Duncan. Duncan loses momentarily, picked up by Dylan Scott. Scott with it for Daleville into the front court, gives it near side. It comes to Adams. Adams dribble centers it, drives right, gives it off to Romine. Romine between the leg dribble near side. It comes. There's a long three-pointer. It's too strong by Carson Buck, and off up with it quickly for Cowan is Kidd. Kidd goes down inside to Duncan. Duncan right block, kicks it out on top to Watson. His three-pointers off the front iron. No, but Duncan clears off the rebound, puts it back in, scores. It's Cowan on top by 2. High right side with it for the Broncos is Dylan Scott. Scott being guarded by Kidd. Scott crossover, give a step back, 15 foot on the right baseline. Is up and good, knocks things up there 2 apiece. Broncos picking up in three-quarter court pressure. Smith with it now, gives it off to Watson down the middle of the floor to Duncan. Duncan puts the ball on the floor. He has it top of the key, gives it off to Watson. Another long three is up and good. Makes it a 5-3 Cowan lead here in the early going. Up with it quickly for Daleville is Dylan Scott. Scott now high right side to Adams now between the circles, directing traffic. Adams gets the high ball screen from Coleman Newsom. Crossover dribble, drives the lane, puts up a runner in the lane, is up and good. Makes it a 5-4 contest. Broncos trail it by just 1. Broncos still in three-quarter court pressure now. Watson gets in the middle of the floor to Duncan, comes near side with it in the lane. There is a scoop shot that is up and good by Bradley Terrell, and makes it a 7-4 Bronco lead. Scott's three-pointer straight away is short off the front iron, but he follows the shot with his own rebound. Now gets it back out on top to Buck on the long three-pointer by Buck's no good, and saved though by Romine, gets it out to Adams high left side. Broncos penetrate, looking, kicks it back out to Romine. Romine between the circles, he drives in the lane, jump stops, fall away jumper is in and out, no good. Rebound is cleared off by Smith of Cowan. He's fouled by Romine of Daleville. So we Blackhawk basketball on the near side. Substitution already for Daleville as Buck sits down, and in the lineup for the first time is Logan Leach. Smith figures the ball inbounds to Watson. Watson now between the circles, being guarded by Scott. Crossover dribble, goes high left side with it to Kidd. Kidd penetrates into the lane, kicks it back out to Garrett. The correction, that is Terrell. Terrell, his 15-foot straightaway jump shot's no good. Rebound's pulled off by Smith. His putback is up and good. It's Cowan on top by a 9-4 score. Scott with it now in the front court for the Broncos. Scott crossover dribble into the lane, pull up, and as I say, drug his foot. Turnover gives the ball back over to the Blackhawks. We'll see if Cowan can extend this early 5-point lead. Substitutions for Cowan into the ball game for the first time is Garrett, and also in the ball game is Blaine Marlatt. In the front court now, Watson gives it off high left side to Terrell. Terrell looking on the dribble now to Watson. Watson thinks about the three, goes left side to Terrell. Terrell crossover dribble, drives lane, puts up a shot, scores it. Makes it 11-4 Blackhawk lead at the 4:50 mark. Scott now to Adams. Adams, high right side to Scott. Scott being guarded by Kidd. Scott, 15-footer right elbow up and good. And he'll go to the line. A chance for the three-point play. Foul goes against Mason Kidd. His first, the team's first. Dylan Scott at the line. A chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. Shots up and good. makes it an 11-7 Cowan lead here at the 4:37 mark of quarter number one. Watson into the front court, being guarded by Scott. Comes near side with it to Terrell. Terrell looking, uses the ball screen, goes inside with it to Garrett. Garrett right baseline. Now out on top to Kidd. Kidd drives the lane, looking, kicks it back out on top and goes to Watson. Watson thinks about a three, but he's guarded closely by Dylan Scott. Scott. Now Watson's three-pointer off the iron, no good. Rebound's cleared off by Daleville to get it off quickly to Romine. Three-pointer right wing is up and good by Dylan Scott. There's the Broncos to within one here at the 4-minute mark of quarter number one. Watson being guarded by Scott. Comes high right side with it to Terrell. Terrell drives right baseline. The parting of the Red Sea wide open layup, but he misses it. There's a putback by Kidd is no good. Broncos lucky on that possession. Up with it quickly is Merrick Adams. He takes it to the glass, picks it up and scores. Makes it 12-11. Bronco lead. The Broncos were down there by about 6, I believe, and they've come back to take a 1-point lead. Between the circles with it now is Watson. Watson uses the ball screen by Marlette. Step back three. Off the front iron, no good. Rebound's put back up by Garrett. He misses it, and rebound is cleared off by Leach of Daleville. Gets it off to Romine. Romine with it left wing, drives the lane. He's pushed off, no foul call. Merrick Adams with a long three. High right side, it's too strong. Coleman Newsom fights for the rebound, but can't come up, corral it, and into the front court with it is Kidd for Cowan. Kidd drives to the basket, puts a shot up, is blocked by Adams. Up with it quickly for Daleville is Scott. Scott crossover dribble into the lane, takes it all the way to glass as it knocks out of bounds. No foul call. Broncos will retain possession. Substitutions for both teams. Colvin enters the lineup for Daleville, replacing Romine. And let's see if we can get that Cowan substitution. Coleman will trigger the ball inbounds. Under his basket, gets it into Scott. Bad pass, out of bounds, turnover, Daleville. Gives the ball back over to Cowan. Garrett sits down for Cowan. So the Blackhawks are going with Smith and Terrell and Marlette and Duncan and Watson. They go down inside, try to get it inside to Coleman, but it's knocked away, stolen away by Newsom, and gives it off to Adams. Adams drives left baseline, step back, fall away, jump shot off the front iron. No, rebound's cleared off by Smith. Smith gives it off to Watson. Watson in the front court being guarded by Colvin. He gives it off. There's a long shot by Smith. It's up and good. Griffin Smith makes it a 14-12 Blackhawk lead. Near side with it is Colvin for Daleville. Colvin goes on baseline to Leach. Leach now left wing, down top of the key. It goes to Adams. Adams goes far side to Colvin. 1:56 to go here, quarter number one. Scott with it on baseline, goes there inside to Newsom, being guarded by Duncan. Wisely kicks it back out. Now top of the key, it comes to Leach. He drives it, looking, and tries to find somebody to give it off to. Then decides to put the shot up himself. 12 foot on the baseline is no good. And rebounds cleared off by Duncan of Cowan. He gets it up quickly to Smith. Smith into the lane. Puts up a runner. It's partially blocked by Adams. And up with it for the Broncos is Scott. He gives it off to Colvin. Colvin with it now between the circles. 1:25 to go here, quarter number one. Broncos lead it by 2. Adams with it. Now high right side to Colvin. Colvin. Now to Scott. Scott now goes to the top of the key to Leach. Hands it back off to Scott. Scott's run on the lane. He's off the glass and good. Dylan Scott with another bucket. Knots things up at 14 apiece. Watson in the front court with it for Cowan. 1 minute to play here, quarter number one. Watson behind the light dribble. Into the lane. Has it knocked away, stolen away by Daleville. Adams gets it up to Leach. Leach's layup is up and good. Daleville on the top by 2. Here as we're under a minute to play. Actually 45 seconds, and in the backcourt with it for Cowan is Watson. 40 seconds now. Watson in the front court being guarded by Colvin. Goes high left side with it to Smith. Smith looks, drives left, cut off. Looking now, picked up his dribble, has to get it off to someone, finally finds, I believe that's Marlette, now between the circles to Terrell. Terrell drives into the lane. He's out of control. Whistle, what's the foul going to be? Still waiting for the officials' call here. Block, I believe. Goes against Gill and Scott. So Cowan will maintain possession as they trail it by 2 with 23.5 seconds to go in the first quarter. Watson will trigger the ball in bounds, gets it in to Duncan. Now out top it comes to Smith. Near side now to Watson. Watson right wing now between the circles of Duncan. Long, a correction, that's Smith. Long three-pointer. No good. Rebounds loose and fought for. And up with it is Kidd under the basket. He puts it back up and scores it. Makes it a 16-16 ball game here. 5 seconds to go. Scott on the dribble. Three-pointer. Top of the key. Off the iron. No. And that's going to do it for the first quarter of play. The score tied 16-16. We'll take a break. The actual second quarter action. You're listening to Bronco Basketball and Delville Athletics. Score all knotted up at 16 apiece here as we get ready to start the second quarter of play. It'll be Leach, the inbounds the ball from the Delville student section here on the near side. He will get the ball inbounds to Noah Colvin. Colvin now comes near side to Leach. And Cowan goes into looks like a 2-3 zone down the baseline. It goes to Buck. Out between the circles to Colvin. Colvin, now Scott. Scott thinks about the three, gives it back out to Colvin. Colvin looks high post, can't find it, gives it off the Leach, high left side now, goes to baseline to Buck. His three-pointers up and good. Carson Buck finds the range after missing his first couple of shots. It's Delville back up on top by a 19-16 count now. Cowan looking against Delville pressure, got it into the front court, but made a bad pass, stolen away by Delville. Scott with it now between the circles. Scott goes high right side to Colvin, but they are going to get Scott with his second traveling call here in the first half. Gives the ball back over to Cowan. Substitution for the Blackhawks. Terrell sits down and Blaine Marlette re-enters the lineup. Watson walks it up slowly for Cowan into the front court. High right side it comes to Duncan. Duncan on the right wing. And he tries to go inside, but it's knocked out of bounds, and we're going to get Carson Buck with the ticky-tack foul there. Merrick Adams re-enters the lineup. Leach sits down for Daleville. Watson will trigger the inbounds in for the Blackhawks. Underneath his own basket, Watson looking, goes inside to Duncan. His turnaround shot's no good, knocked away. And up with it quickly for Daleville's Adams. Gives it back to Colvin. His three-pointers up and good. Noah Colvin puts Daleville up by 6, 22-16 here as we're under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. Watson with it between the circles, being guarded by Colvin. Comes near side with it to Smith. Smith lobs it into Duncan's overhead, and Colvin comes up with a loose ball. Colvin goes down inside. That is Coleman loose, and he finishes off the assist from Colvin. Puts Daleville on top by a 24-16 count. Into the front court now is Watson being guarded by Colvin. Watson high left side for Cowan. Uses the ball screen. Step back, thinks about a three, but goes down inside to Marlette. Marlette's shot is knocked away, and they're going to get Noah Colvin on the foul. I think, they're going to say he was shooting. Apparently. So Marlette readies his first free throw. Shots up off the back iron, no good. Blaine Marlette is the second free throw. That one is good. Makes it a 24-17 ball game at the 6:17 mark here of quarter number 2. Colvin in the front court for Delville, working against the Cowan 2-3 zone. They go high right side with it. Comes back to Colvin. Now on the baseline, it goes to Bach. High post, it goes to Coleman Newsom. They go down on the baseline. Scott's three-pointer right baseline is off the iron. No rebounds cleared off by Duncan of Cowan. Up with it quickly is Watson. Watson crossover dribble. He's at the top of the key. Gives it off now to Smith. Smith high right side. Being guarded by Adams. Now it's Watson with it. Being guarded closer by Noah Colvin. He skips it across far side to Mason Kidd. Kidd looking, comes out on top to Marlette. Now near side it comes to Watson. Watson shot fake into the lane. And we're going to get a whistle. And a reach-in foul on the floor is going to go against Daleville. As it looked like Watson was on the move. That goes against Colvin. That's his second. And substitution. Colvin to sit down. Dylan Romine will re-enter the lineup for Daleville. Watson will trigger the ball inbounds underneath for Cowan. Gets it into Duncan. Duncan now gets it out on top of Smith. Now Watson. Watson being guarded by Scott. Watson between the circles. Let's fly with the 25-footer off the back iron. No. Marlette knocks it around. Loose ball goes off of Duncan's hands and finally comes down to Scott of Daleville. Adams baseline drive. Oh, off the front iron. No good. And Adams goes down in a heat. And up with it quickly for Cowan's Marlette. Looked like there was a violation of some sort there, but nothing's called. Turnaround jump shot by Smith in the lane's no good. Rebound's cleared off by Buck of Daleville. It gives it off to Romine. Romine now back to Buck, right wing, goes inside to Coleman Newsom. Scott, Adams, three-pointer left wing, up and good. Adams buries the three. Puts Daleville on top by a 27-17 here at the 4:47 mark of quarter number 2. And Cowan wants a timeout, so we'll take a break. You're listening to Bronco Basketball on Daleville Athletics. .447 to go here, quarter number 2. It's going to be Daleville basketball as we look at the second quarter of play. At the end of the first quarter, things were all knotted up at 16 apiece, but Daleville has spurted out to a 27-17 lead here as we near the midpoint mark of the second quarter. Cowan basketball, they go down on the baseline with it to Watson, goes inside to Marlette. His shot on the baseline is partially blocked. Knocked out of bounds momentarily, picked up, and Scott has it for Daleville to get it to Leach, and up quickly to Romine, high right side. Romine back to Scott between the circles, near side it comes to Adams. Adams drives the left baseline, slam jam. Merrick Adams on the baseline drive puts Daleville up by a 29-17 count. Watson with it between the circles, goes high right side with it to Mason Kidd. Near side it comes to Watson now to Marlette between the circles. Marlette looking, being guarded by Buck. Goes left side with it. That is Watson who drives. He's trapped on the right wing looking. Now comes top of the key with it to Garrett in the lineup for Daleville. Marlette near side to Watson. Watson being guarded closely by Scott. He drives right side. Cut off and crossover dribble, steps back out. Now goes high right side to Marlette. Marlette of Cowan. Crossover. Looking. Gives it off now to Smith. Smith between the circles. Watson now on the dribble, being guarded closer by Scott, right side. Spin dribble into the lane. Gives it on top to Mason Kidd. Kidd, fall away jump shot, right baseline's up and good. Draws Cowan back to within 10. Into the front court, it comes to Scott of Daleville. It goes down on the baseline with it to Adams. Adams to Scott. Near side, it comes to Buck. Buck's long three-pointer, high left side off the iron. No. Rebounds fought for Adams gets the rebound and loses it momentarily, goes off of Marlette's foot. Broncos will retain possession. Merrick Adams active now defensively and on the offensive end after that baseline dunk he picked up here in the middle of the second quarter. They lob it into Adams. Adams now left baseline, kicks it back out on top of Leach. Now to Scott between the circles. Now right side it goes to Buck. Buck talking, gives it off to Adams, left side. Adams high left side, being guarded by Terrell, comes near side with it to Scott. Scott now drives right baseline. He's cut off, back out to Leach. Leach fills it out left baseline, fall away 17-footer. He's bumped, but no foul called on the miss. Marlette with it up for Cowan, gives it off to Terrell. Terrell looked like he traveled. No call, goes in the lane. Jump shots blocked by Adams. Adams all over the place here in the second quarter, active on both ends, and picked up the loose ball does Watson of Cowan. Near side it comes to Marlette. Marlette right wing. Looking, now top of the key to Terrell, high left side to Watson. Now Marlette, near side it comes to Terrell. Terrell down on the baseline, it goes to Garrett. He drives and got the whistle say that he stepped on the out of bounds on the end line, I should say. Good defense there by Daleville on that possession. They will get the ball back with a 10-point lead. Substitutions for Daleville. Carson Buck sits down and Coleman Newsom re-enters the lineup. Red line triggers the inbounds to Scott. Scott into the front court for the Broncos. He uses the ball screen from Coleman Newsom into the lane, puts up a runner off the iron no. Rebounds fought for. Loose ball finally picked up, and they say it was last touched by Coleman Newsom as two players, including Newsom, pile into the Blackhawk bench, and that gives the ball back over to Cowan. Cole Duncan re-enters the lineup for Cowan. In the front court for the Blackhawks. Behind the back dribble is Watson. Watson into the lane, being guarded by Scott, and tries to kick off baseline loose. Finally picked up by Terrell. Terrell on the far side dribbles into the lane. Looked like he traveled. No call, and they're going to get Leach for the block. Leach thought it was clean, but that is going to send Terrell to the line nonetheless. First foul for Leach, but the sixth foul of the half for the Broncos with just 1:42 to play here. Broncos still holding a 10-point lead. Terrell looking to cut into it. His first free throw is off the front iron, no good. Bradley Terrell readies his second free throw. That's off the back iron, no good. But the rebound's pulled off by Duncan. His turnout shot in the lane's no good. Rebound's cleared off by Leach of Daleville. Gives it off to Scott. Scott now in the front court, being guarded by Marlette, looking 30 feet from the basket. In no hurry. Minute 25 to go here, quarter number 2. Scott now being guarded closely by Marlette. Scott drives into the lane, backs it back out. Now Scott still on the dribble. This time penetrates deep. Now goes down on the baseline to Coleman Newsom. Newsom, right wing with it now. Broncos in no hurry. Under a minute to play here, quarter number 2. Broncos still holding on to the 10-point lead. Oh, that Dylan Romine had the ball, not even being pressured, dribbled it off his foot, goes into the backcourt, turnover. So an unforced error there by Daleville gives Cowan a chance to cut into this 10-point lead here late in the second quarter. Well, they called a foul. Against Cowan, so it's going to be Daleville basketball. I actually missed that call, but we'll take it. Merrick Adams will trigger it in underneath the Broncos basket. Looking, gets it off the Leach. Now to Merrick Adams, right side. 50 seconds to go here, quarter number 2, I should say. Adams now being guarded closely there by Watson. Now gives it off to Dylan Scott, and Coach Fouch wants to take a quick break here. Timeout, 30-second timeout by Daleville, and we'll keep it here. Broncos hold on to that 29-19 lead. got it up to a 12-point margin on the baseline drive and dunk by Merrick Adams, made it a 29-17 ball game. And since that time, only 2 points have been scored. That bucket was, well, they went up by 10 at 4:47, so it was around 4 minutes when Adams got the baseline drive. Then Cowan got one more bucket to make it a 29-19 score, which is where it currently sits. It'll be Daleville basketball in front of the scores table on the far side. 40.7 seconds to play here, quarter number 2. Adams gets the ball in the backcourt to Colvin. It's Noah Colvin, being guarded closely by Kidd. 33 seconds to go. Colvin penetrates, backs it back out. Looks like they're going to hold for one shot, unless we can get a good look before that. Colvin now drives it, backs it back out to the center circle. Now we're down to 17 seconds. Colvin still on the dribble, being guarded by Kidd. 10 seconds now. Time to go. Colvin penetrates, nearly loses his footing. Now drives left wing, Now looking for somebody. Adams with it. Let's fight with a long three-pointer at the horn. He goes down in a heap, but the shot does not fall. So that's going to end things in the second quarter play with Daleville holding on to a 29-19 halftime lead. We will take a break and be back with some halftime numbers. You're listening to Bronco Basketball and Daleville Athletics. Back here at halftime, where the Daleville Broncos hold a 29-19 lead over Cowan. As we look at the score by quarters, things were all knotted up at a back and forth first quarter of play. First quarter score was 16 all. Then in the second quarter, Daleville was able to outscore Cowan 13-3. So only 3 points scored by Cowan in the second quarter has allowed Daleville to spurt out to this 10-point halftime lead, and I would say one of the better quarters played this season, at least at home, by Daleville here in the second quarter of this particular contest. We'll take another break, and like I said, hopefully be back with some halftime scoring totals. This is Bronco Basketball and Daleville Athletics.
All right, tonight we have several Belleville high schools and high cheerleaders in attendance to recognize.
Back here at Devil High School, the Broncos hold that 29-19 halftime lead. We'll look at some halftime scoring. First for Cowan. Mason Kidd had two two-point field goals for 4 points. And Timmy Watson had one 3-point field goal for 3 points. Griffin Smith had one 2-point field goal, one 3-point field goal for 5. Bradley Terrell had two 2-point field goals for 4. Cole Duncan had one 2-point field goal early for 2. And Blaine Marlette was 1 of 2 from the line for 1 point. So the Broncos were, or the Blackhawks, I should say, were led by 5 points of Griffin Smith and the 4 points of Bradley Terrell. If we look at Belleville, Merrick Adams had 3 2-point field goals, one big thunderous dunk there about midway through the second quarter. He also had a 3-point field goal for 9 points. Dylan Scott had one 3-point field goal, 3 2-point field goals, and was 1 of 1 from the line. So Dylan Scott had 10 points there in the first half. Carson Buck had a 3-point field goal for 3 points. Coleman Newsom had a 2-point field goal for 2 points, and Noah had a 1-point field goal for 3 points. So again, the Broncos were led by the 10 points of Dylan Scott and the 9 points of Merrick Adams. We will take another break as we watch the alumni cheerleaders. And it'll be an extended break, and we'll wrap with third quarter action. You're listening to Bronco Basketball and Devil Athletics. Both teams have broken the huddle. We're just about ready to get things started here in the third quarter of play. Cowan comes back with Duncan, Kidd, Watson, Terrell, and Marlette inbounds the ball. Broncos come back. Looks like with the starters, if I recall correctly. Terrell with it, high right side for Cowan. Actually on the right wing, finds an open Watson in the lane, but it's blocked by Adams. Adams gets the ball in the front court. Scott, left wing three-pointer off the iron no. Adams loses it momentarily. It falls picked up by Terrell, and they'll get Adams on the reach-in in the backcourt. And just Adams' first foul. Marlette triggers the ball in bounds. Watson in the front court, being guarded by Scott, comes near side to Kidd. Kidd now between the circles to Terrell. Now goes high right side to Watson. Top of the key now to Duncan. Duncan. Now Kidd. Marlette, right side, right wing, three-pointer is off the iron, no good by Watson. He gets cleared off by Coleman Newsom. Newsom gets it up to Scott. Now to Adams. Adams shuffled his feet before he drove the lane. Turnover gives the ball back over to Cowan. No score here in the third quarter play. Broncos maintain a 29-19 lead as we near the 7-minute mark. Front court now comes to Terrell for Cowan. Tries to lob it into Duncan, sails over his head and out of bounds. Gives the ball back over to Daleville. Scott into the front court. Now Romine. Romine high right side. Now top of the key goes to Buck. Buck now to Scott left wing. Finds Adams. Adams drives the lane, takes it all the way to the glass, puts it up. No good, but he's fouled there by Duncan. So Merrick Adams will go to the line with a chance to shoot a pair. Merrick's first free throw's up and good. Ready's the second one. That one's also good. Makes it a 31-19 Bronco lead. Watson in the front court for Cowan. Comes high left side with it to Kidd. Now goes to Duncan. Duncan spin move in the lane. Puts a shot up. In and out. No good. Rebound's cleared off by Carson Buck. Buck gives it off to Scott. Now off to Adams. Adams in the front court. Goes high post with it to Buck. Buck looks for the backdoor pass. It's not there. Gives it off to Coleman Newsom. Now left wing to Adams. This three-pointer left wing off the front iron. No. Rebound's cleared off by Watson of Cowan. It's fought for. And Adams ties him up. Jump ball call. And possession arrow in favor of Daleville. So it'll be Daleville basketball under their own basket. Adams will trigger it in. Broncos lead it by 12. Romaine with it on the left baseline. Looking. Gives it off to Scott, high left side. Scott drives the left baseline. He's cut off. Gives it back out to Romaine. Romaine now near side. It comes to Bach. Bach penetrates into the lane. Puts up a scoop shots. Up and good. Nice take to the glass by Carson Buck. Puts Daleville on top by 14. Watson now into the front court for Cowan. Goes high post with it to Duncan. Duncan spin move in the lanes up. No good, but he's going to go to the line to shoot a pair. Duncan has yet to score in the second half, but he looks to be considerably more active, and Cowan also looks to be getting into the ball a little bit. Duncan's first free throw's up and good. Duncan ready for the second one. Off the back iron, no rebounds cleared off by Carson Buck. He gets it off to Adams. Adams in the front court being guarded by Watson. And now Romine. Broncos into the weave. Scott with it now. High right side gets to the Romine. High left. Romine now top of the key to Buck. Buck looking. Being guarded by Marlette. Now hands it off to Scott. Scott directs traffic. Scott penetrates, backs it back out. Now back in the lane. Now on top it goes to Adams. Adams drives it. Step back. Thinks about a 17-footer. No. Romine with it now to Scott. Scott shot fakes. Penetrates. Puts up a 15-footer left elbow off the back iron. No good. Rebounds put off by Coleman Newsom, but they say went over Watson's back. And there's a foul. Gives the ball back over to Cowan. Substitution for Cowan. Marlette re-enters the lineup. Terrell with it for the Blackhawks. Walks it in the front court, being guarded now by Dylan Scott. Broncos in a man-to-man. Terrell drives to the basket, puts up a little short jump shot, scores it. Chell got all the way deep into the lane there. Was not cut off by Dale, but was able to get a point-blank shot, and he's able to convert it. But on the other end, Scott drives the baseline, draws a foul. And that goes against Terrell. Noah Colvin will re-enter the lineup for Dale, as will Leach, Romine, and Buck sit down. Scott will trigger the ball in bounds. Gets it into Coleman Newsom at the top of the key. Newsom now gives it off to Scott. His long three-pointers off the side of the iron, no good. Rebounds picked up by Cowan. Leach with it, or correction, that's Kidd with it, gives it off to Terrell. Terrell drives right wing, goes all the way into the lane again, nearly got there again. Now fall away jump shots, no good. Rebounds put off by Duncan. He puts it back up and scores. So Cole Duncan with a putback there, doing something that I'm sure the Cowan coaching staff would like to see him do a lot more of. Newsom with it inside on Duncan. Shot fake, has it blocked away. Duncan comes up with it. Terrell into the lane, has it knocked away from behind, and they say Delbo touched it last, so Cowan will retain. So Duncan with a basket and a block here in about the last 15 seconds has made himself considerably more active here. And they find Duncan on the inbounds play. He kicks it out on top. There's a three-pointer by Kidd. Rattles around and falls in. Makes it a 33-27 ball game. Cowan pulls within 6 here at the 3:45 mark of the third quarter. Newsom into the front court. Penetrates. Finds an open Coleman Newsom into the... He's open, puts up the shot. It's no good, but he's going to go to the line to shoot a pair. And I think I said Newsom twice there. That was Colvin that penetrated in. Found Newsom inside, who put the shot up, which was no good, but he drew the foul. Coleman's first free throw up and good. Substitution. Terrell sits down for Cowan as Watson re-enters the lineup. Newsom raises his second free throw. That one's up and good. Makes it a 34-27 ball game. Broncos pick up the three-quarter court pressure. All Broncos in the front court. They lob it over. Duncan takes it all the way to the basket. Tries for the slam, but he's fouled. And they're going to get Leach, I believe. That's Leach's second, team's fourth. And Duncan will go to the line to shoot a pair. His first shot's up and good. Cole Duncan's second free throw. That was also good. Trims the Bronco lead to 6. And in the front court with it is Noah Colvin. Colvin into the lane, goes baseline with it to Coleman Newsom. Now to Scott, high right side. Scott penetrates, gives it to Merrick Adams. Adams, crossover dribble, penetrates into the lane, comes near side to Noah Colvin. Colvin penetrates now, dumps it back out top to Dylan Scott. Scott penetrates into the lane, takes it all the way to glass, puts it up, misses. Adams with the putback, no good. We're going now Colvin with it. Colvin backs out, goes down inside to Coleman Newsom. His turnaround shot in the lane is up and good. Puts the elbow up by a 37-29 count. Broncos pick up a full court pressure. They're trapping in the backcourt. Marlette, or correction, that's Smith with it. They get it up and they find an open Marlette at this end. He lays it up and scores. Broncos gambling at times having all 5 players in the front court. This time Cowan's able to make him pay. Scott with it, drives the right sideline, and he's fouled. Who are they going to get? Foul goes against Smith of Cowan. Substitution, Smith sits down and Terrell re-enters. So the Broncos have Terrell, Marlette, Watson, Kidd, and Duncan. Colvin in the backcourt with it to Devil directing traffic. Coleman now looking against pressure from Kidd. He drives into the lane, steps back, crossover. Back in the lane, another runner there by Colvin. Something good. Nice take there by Noah Colvin. Devil back up on top by 8 here at the 2:12 mark here of the third quarter. Terrell with it now between the circles for Cowan, being guarded by Leach. Drives right wing, crossover into the lane, puts it up, and Leach tries to block it, but the ball goes in, and they're going to get Leach with the foul. So Terrell with the line for the three-point, chance for the three-point play for Cowan. Substitution for Devil. Buck re-enters the lineup. Coleman Newsom sits down. Terrell's free throws off the back iron. No good. Rebounds cleared off by Buck of Devil. Up quickly is Adams. Back to Buck. Buck's three-pointer straight away. In and off the back iron. No. Newsom fought for it. Then you got Colvin and Duncan. You got Colvin, who's what? 5'5", and Duncan, who's 6'9", and Colvin tied him up. Possession arrow is in favor. Well, it's going to be Cowan basketball. So possession arrow is pointing in the direction of Cowan. But nice play there by Noah Colvin to tie up Duncan. And we've got to get out of the timeout on the floor. And we'll take a break. You're listening to Bronco basketball on Delville Athletics. Cowan basketball will go the length of the court. 1:51 to play here in the third quarter. Broncos fall back. Marlette triggers the ball inbounds to Terrell. Terrell walks it into front court, being guarded by Scott. We'll see what Cowan's going to look. They run a set here. Go Terrell right wing. Goes now out between the circles to Watson. Back to Terrell right wing. Penetrates, spin, dribble. Gets all the way to the lane. Terrell, reverse layup is up and good. Terrell with the bucket draws Cowan to within 4 here at the minute 30 mark. Colvin goes to Buck on the left baseline. Back to Colvin. Colvin penetrates, puts up a scoop shot, lane up and good. And what's the foul? Going to get Noah Colvin on the charge. Unfortunately, no restraining circle there in high school basketball. That one would have been close. as he got almost to the glass there. Charging foul nonetheless. It'll be Cowan basketball here with 1:19 to play in the third, trailing by only 4. Broncos led by as many as 12. Terrell into the front court being guarded by Scott. Crossover dribble into the lane. Still in the lane. Could have been a 3-second call. No call. And steal there by Adams. Adams spin move into the lane, lays it up and scores it. So Adams stole the ball from Kidd, took it length of the court and scored, made it a 41-35 game. And now back comes Cowan Watson, and he has it swatted in the lane. Merrick Adams comes up with it for Daleville. Broncos lead it by 6 here with 42 seconds to go in the third quarter. Adams now to Colvin. Colvin, high right side. Colvin penetrates, backs it back out. Broncos set up in the 4 corners. He penetrates again, backs it back out. 25 seconds to go. Looks like Broncos are going to hold it for one unless they get a nice look. Colvin penetrates, backs it back out. A reach-in foul. They're going to get, what do we got? 5-second call? Apparently a 5-second call. I thought they were going to get Cowan for the reach-in, but instead it's a turnover. Gives the ball back to Cowan. Broncos lead it by 6 with 16.9 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Marlette to trigger the ball in bounds. Gets it into Duncan, but it's knocked away and stolen away. Adams with it for Daleville. 12 seconds. Thinks about a 3. Gets it back out between the circles to Colvin. Now high right side. It comes to Dylan Scott. 7 seconds. Scott's 3-pointer straight away is off the back iron. No. Put back by, tap back up by a couple Broncos players, and Adams fires up a shot at the horn. It's no good. That's going to do it for 3 quarters of play. Daleville leads it by the score of 41-35. And we'll take a break. We are back for the fourth quarter of play here. Broncos holding on to a 6-point lead. Daleville had it up by as many as 12. I know in the second quarter may have led by 12 briefly there in the third, but Cowan was able to cut into that lead. Blackhawks outscored Daleville 16-12 in that quarter. Broncos come back with Scott, Colvin, Adams, Leach, and Buck. Scott's triggered in, gets it into Colvin. Colvin now between the circles. Crossover, penetrates, puts up a runner. Off the iron, no. Rebound put up by Duncan of Cowan. Duncan gets it off to Terrell. Terrell walks it up slowly, being guarded by Scott now as he meets him as he crosses the 10-second line. We got penetration there by Terrell. Takes it all the way to glass. Again, it's blocked by Buck, but Terrell comes back up with the rebound. Now kicks it out, finds an open Kidd. Kidd's 3-pointer left wing is off the front iron. No. Rebounds put off by Scott of Daleville. And Marlette pressured Leach, and they call Leach for a travel. Leach is not happy. Feels like he was fouled. And actually, it's a call that could have gone either way, I believe. But it's going to be Cowan basketball here, with Watson to trigger it in on the end line to get it into Duncan. Now to Terrell. Terrell drives left side. Gets all the way into the basket, kicks it out. There's a 3-pointer right baseline by Kidd is good. And that makes it a 41-38 Bronco lead. The Blackhawks trim it to 3. Penetration by Colvin there. Goes to Buck. Buck drives right baseline, and he's going to draw the foul. Blocking foul called there. And that foul goes against Terrell. So it'll be Bronco basketball with Colvin triggered in. Broncos are lining the box set there. They get into Adams. Adams goes top of the key to Scott. Scott drives left, goes all the way to the glass, puts it up, and misses. And up with it now for Cowan. Left wing is Kidd. His 15-foot fall away rattles around and falls in. Kidd pulls Cowan back within one at the 6:50 mark here, 41-40. Up quickly is Scott. He goes all the way to the glass, puts up a runner, and he's going to draw the foul. And looks like it's going to go against Duncan. That's Duncan's third foul, fifth of the half on Cowan. Scott will go to the line to shoot a pair. Substitution for Cowan as Smith goes to the scorer's table. Scott's first free throw is good. Smith is in. Terrell sits down. Coleman Newsom will line up for Daleville replacing Leach. Dylan Scott readies his second free throw. That one rattles around, does not go. Rebound's cleared off by Duncan. Broncos hold on to a scant 2-point lead. It goes down the baseline three-pointer by Smith. It's too strong, but Marlatt with the rebound. Now there's a runner in the lane is up and good by Kidd. Kidd with his third straight basket for Cowan knots things up at 42. Scott in the front court for Daleville. Crossover. Thought about pulling up in the lane. Now gives it off to Buck. Buck takes it all the way to the glass, puts it up and scores it. Carson Buck with a nice take there, puts Daleville back up on top by 2. 6:15 to go in the ball game. Watson between the circles, drives right wing, looking. Now goes to Smith, top of the key. Lobs it into Duncan. He loses it. Noah Colvin, Johnny on the spot, picks up the loose ball, gives it to Buck. Buck all the way into the basket, kicks it back out to Colvin. Colvin on the baseline now. They get back out on top to Scott. 5:50 to go in the ballgame. Scott, crossover dribble on Kidd, puts a runner in the lane, but it's blocked away and out of bounds by Duncan. The Broncos retain possession. Scott will trigger the ball inbounds. Broncos still lead it by 2. Lobs it back into Coleman Newsom. Newsom to Scott, top of the key. Scott penetrates. Goes far side to Buck. Buck drives left baseline, puts it up over Duncan and scores it. Makes it a 46-42 Bronco lead. Watson goes right wing to Smith. Smith looking at the Duncan posting up. Now goes down inside. Duncan with a triple team. Turnaround shot in the lane's no good. Rebound cleared off by Scott of Daleville. Gives it off to Colvin. Nice defense there by Daleville. Scott with it high right side. Backs it out. He's being guarded there by Watson. Penetration. Looking. Near side it comes to Colvin. Colvin. Top of the key. Goes high left side to Buck. Buck goes all the way into the lane. Dumps it off to Coleman Newsom. Newsom loses it momentarily. Get it back on top to Buck. Buck's three-pointer off the iron. No. Fought for. Finally picked up by Watson of Cowan. Watson quickly into the front court, being guarded by Colvin. He penetrates into the lane. Got a bump and a foul. Is going to go against Daleville. Looks like it may be Adams, I think. Nope, goes against Noah Colvin, and that's Noah's fourth, I believe. So Romine will re-enter as Colvin sits down. And to the line goes Watson, Timmy Watson, with a pair. Looking to pull Howard back within 2 to get shots off the iron. No good. Rebounds cleared off by Coleman Newsom. He gives it off to Merrick Adams. Adams now being guarded Marlette, hands it off to Scott. Scott's being guarded by Watson. Scott penetrates, backs it out, gives it to Romine. Romine in the lane, goes on baseline to Coleman Newsom. Broncos showing some patience here. Up by 4:20 to go in the ball game. Scott penetrates, backs it out. Step back three-pointer, Dylan Scott's off the iron, no. And out of bounds, last touch by Cowan. Loose ball, Blackhawks unable to come up with it. Broncos retain possession. 4:11 to go, Broncos still lead by 4. Romine calls out play number 2, gets it ball to Coleman Newsom, now out to Scott, now back on the baseline to Buck. He's shot fake, goes all the way to the glass, has it partially blocked by Duncan, gets his own rebound, he come off to Adams, his baseline 3 off the iron, no, rebound cleared off by Cowan's Terrell, gets it up quickly to Smith. Smith all the way to the glass and scores it. Griffin Smith pulls Cowan to within 2. Merrick Adams now between the circles being guarded by Marlette. He drives, goes baseline to Buck. His three-pointer short. Broncos have gone cold from the field here of late with several opportunities to bump that lead up and been unable to do so. There's a long three-pointer by Jimmy Watson. Puts Cowan on top. 47-46 with 3:25 to go. I don't have official statistics, but that's got to be Cowan's first lead in some time. We'll take a short break with the timeout here called by Daleville. You're listening to Bronco Basketball and Daleville Athletics. It'll be Bronco basketball with these full court pressure from the Blackhawks. Scott now being guarded by Watson, gets it into the front court. Scott, crossover dribble between the legs into the lane, goes baseline, Buck. Shot fake, another three-pointer. This one he buries. Big three-pointer there by Carson Buck. Puts Daleville back on top by 2 at the 3:05 mark. Cowan basketball. Terrell with it between the circles. Under 3 minutes to go. Terrell drives right side, gets all the way to the glass once again and scores it. Terrell has been able to slide in under the basket and get close-in shots multiple times here for Cowan, and that's hurt Daleville, knots things up at 49. Buck drives the right baseline, kicks it back out on top to Adams. Adams, crossover again, into the lane, loses control, out of bounds, turnover Daleville. Gives the ball back over to Cowan with the score tied at 49, 2:32 to go. Substitution, Colvin re-enters the lineup for Adams. I'm sure Adams will be back in, but just a little bit out of control as he gets some instruction there from the bench when he sits down. Tie ball game, 2:30 to play. Terrell walks it into front court slowly for Cowan. Terrell, crossover dribble into the lane, picks up his dribble, gives it back out to Marlette. Marlette, top of the key. Now Watson, being guarded by Colvin, comes near side. Kidd into the lane to Terrell. Terrell's shot is up and no good, but he is fouled. I believe they're going to get Carson Buck. That is the 8th foul. Cowan with only 6. 2:09 to go in the ball game. Terrell with the opportunity to put Cowan back on top for only the second time this half. First free throws up and good. Adams enters the game now for Romine for Daleville. Terrell readies the second free throw. That is when it falls in. Puts Cowan up by 2. Scott in the front court for Daleville. Crossover into the lane. Puts up a run. It's blocked. A big block there by Duncan. Cowan comes down with it. Terrell up quickly into the front court. Trap. Baseline. Goes to Watson. Watson drives the baseline. Right side. Dribbles it off his foot. Out of bounds. Got to be Daleville ball. Yes. So break there for Daleville. But they trail it by 2 and got a whistle and a timeout. Daleville with the full timeout as they trail by 2 with 1:48 to go. You're listening to Bronco Basketball and Daleville Athletics. Cowan's broken the huddle. Broncos still getting some final instructions. The Bronco basketball on the near side, about 75 feet from the basket, in front of the cheering section. They get the ball and bounce to Colvin. Does Adams. Colvin now into the front court. Now to Scott. Scott drives right baseline. Dumps it off inside to Newsom. Newsom loses it. Picks it back up. Gives it off now to Buck. Buck drives the lane. Gives it off to Newsom. Shot fake. Up. Over Duncan. No good. But rebound scored off by Cowan. And it's Kidd who calls timeout when he's trapped. So it'll be Cowan basketball, leading by 2 with 1:23 to go in the ball game. And I believe it's just a 30-second timeout. So in a basketball game that Daleville has led most of the way, Cowan now holds a 2-point lead with under 1.5 minutes to play, and they have possession of the basketball. And obviously, there is no shot clock in high school basketball. So Cowan in the driver's seat, but still lots of time remaining in this one. Marlette gets the ball and bounce to Kidd. Kidd guarded closely, gets it back out on top to Watson. Watson driving on Colvin. Now gets it to Terrell, 35 feet from the basket. He penetrates into the lane once again, scores it. Terrell gets all the way to the glass again and scores it. Puts Cowan up by 4 with 1 minute to go. Colvin penetrates into the lane, looking. Buck, shot fake, drives the right baseline, puts the shot up, a little bit out of control, but he's going to draw the foul. So Buck with a chance to pull Daleville within 2 if he can knock down these free throws with the clock stopped. I'm sure Daleville would like points here and the opportunity to set up full court pressure. We've seen Daleville gamble and with some success, although Cowan's been able to go over the top a time or two and make Daleville pay as well. Carson Buck readies his first free throw. Up and good. Coach Groves up on the Cowan bench, imploring his players to block out. Second free throw is also good. Pulls Daleville to within two. They're in full court pressure. There's a trap in the backcourt. They've got Watson trapped, and ball's knocked out of bounds. Daleville wants a turnover, but they're not going to get it. That last touch by Daleville. Cowan still having to go the length of the court, however. Daleville's only one player back. That's Bach. Man-to-man pressure. There's a trap there. They got, we got foul call, offensive foul. Daleville had a trap in the far corner. They try to pass it out. So it's going to be free throws for Daleville, as that's the 8th foul. And Noah Colvin with the opportunity to tie things up here. So good possession. No, I guess not. They give it to Daleville under their own basket. There's a shot quickly by Adams. No good. And rebounds cleared off by Kidd of Cowan, who's fouled quickly by Dylan Scott with 42 seconds. So Cowan, actually Watson of Cowan, with the opportunity to put the Blackhawks up by 4 if he can convert here and make things very difficult. Still a lot of time, though. Kidd's first free throw is up and good. 54-51 the score currently. Second free throw by Kidd. In and out, no good. Rebounds put off by Buck. Gets it to Colvin. We're down under 40 seconds. Colvin into the front court. And we've got a timeout called by Daleville. And what's it going to be? Looks like a full timeout. So Daleville basketball trailing it by 3 with 35 seconds to go. We'll take a short break. Bronco basketball. Colvin, Newsom, Buck, Scott, and Adams in the lineup for Daleville. Colvin will trigger the ball in bounds. Broncos are lining a box set up for the side out of bounds. Cross screen there, and we got Scott catches on the baseline, being guarded there. He goes inside to Newsom. Scott step back 3 after the handoff off the iron note. But loose ball's picked up by Coleman Newsom. Long three-pointer, no foul call. It doesn't go. Not quite sure Daleville had to take that shot. Could have gotten a little better look, you would think. And there's a foul call after Cowan gained possession, and I believe that's going to send Cole Duncan to the line. So Duncan at the line with Cowan leading by 3, 20.2 seconds to go in the ballgame. Duncan can make things really difficult for Daleville if he can convert these. First free throws up and good. 4-point spread now. Coach Groves implores him not to foul. Duncan readies his second. That one also good. Makes it a 56-51 lead for the Cowan Blackhawks with 20.2 seconds to go. We've got another timeout on the floor. Probably 30-second timeout. So Cowan, with, if my memory serves correctly, their largest lead in the basketball game. If it's not their largest, yeah, it has to be. I don't think they ever have a lead this big early. Daleville basketball, they trail it by 5. One would think that they would take it to the glass and try to score it as quickly as possible and then set up a press. Scott with it. Long three-pointer, off the iron, out of bounds. Nope. Cowan basketball, leading by 5 with 13.3 seconds to go. Again, you would think you might have gotten a little bit better look than that. It will be Marlette triggering the ball inbounds in the deep corner. Broncos pick up the full court pressure. Cowan sends one player long. They lob it high into Duncan. Duncan, a release valve. That's nice to have a 6'9" kid to throw it up to when you got to get the ball inbounds. So Duncan will go to the line again. Duncan with not eye-popping statistics, although he has been more active here in the second half. But I'll say this. He does tend to knock down his free throws at a pretty good rate. 11.8 seconds to go. Duncan's free throw in and out. As I say that, he misses. Cole lays his second one. This one also no good. He does split off 10 seconds. Scott with it. Pull up. 30-footer. Too strong. The rebound's loose and thoughtful. We got a jump ball. It will be, I believe, Cowan basketball with 4.8 seconds to go. Blackhawks trigger the ball inbounds. They get it into Kidd, who's fouled him with 3.6 seconds to go. So Blackhawks can extend the lead. Mason Kidd. First free throw off the front iron, no good. 12 fouls in the half for Daleville. So they've been in a double bonus. Cowan has. Second free throw is good, makes it a 57-51 ball game. Scott, long three-pointer buzzer is short. Your final score. Cowan, 57. Daleville, 51. Your final score in this Mid-Eastern Conference rivalry game tonight. And one thing I will say before we take a break, the Broncos will have a very quick shot at revenge as they'll see Cowan in the county tournament next week. We'll give you that schedule lately. We will take a couple-minute break and we'll be back with some final scoring totals. You're listening to Bronco Basketball and Daleville Athletics.